Assalamualaikum dear students. Hope you all are fine and enjoying good health at home. So students, today we are going to start our unit number 2 from Active English class 4. And our topic is the tumbler of oil. What is tumbler? What comes to your mind after listening the word tumbler? Tumbler is a type of a glass, a drinking glass with straight sides, or we can say that it is a type of a beaker, just like this. Or now coming to the story is about a child and Tony, whose mother handed him a tumbler and some money, and she warned Tony to be careful and to do not start daydreaming again. Tony has the habit of daydreaming. Tony ran all the way to the market. On reaching the shop, he asked the shopkeeper to measure out 8 cents worth of mustard oil into the tumbler. But that tumbler which his mother had given him, Tony wondered what to do. The shopkeeper told him that the tumbler could contain only 7 cents. Then Tony wondered what to do. He did not want to disobey his mother. Then he will turn the tumbler. There was a hollow space in the outer bottom of the tumbler. He happily turned the tumbler, and then what happened? The oil that was in the inner side, poured on the ground, and then the shopkeeper shook his head in disbelief. And then when he went home, Tony went home. His mother was quite surprised, and she stood in disbelief that what Tony has done, and she could not believe that how foolish the Tony had been. This is all about the story, the tumbler of the oil. The child described in the story was quite foolish, that he didn't use his brain, and what he had done that he turned off the tumbler, and so students, what you have to do is, the story is quite interesting about the boy and the mother. What you have to do is to read out the story on page number 20, and then underline the difficult words mentioned in the story. And here are the few dictation words which I am telling to you. In the first paragraph, you have to underline word. That means cost. Word, first line, the first word is word, then is wandered, moving here and there, then is caution, means giving instruction, then in the next third paragraph, brain wave, that means that he had an idea, hollow space, then shook, move your head like this is called shook, then disbelief, and then coming to the last, the word is foolish. These all are the dictation words from your book, from your chapter, page number 20. Students, in this chapter, you will learn about the story writing, about character description, that how the writer has described the character, and then you will also learn about the indirect speech. What is indirect speech? Indirect speech means that you are going to say the words uttered by someone else. That if I am telling you that this is direct speech, and if my words are told by someone else, then this is indirect speech. So what you have to do is coming to the reading comprehension on page number 21 and page number 22. You have to solve the exercise after reading the text carefully. So coming to the vocabulary, I am writing down the few words on the board with the meanings. Then we will move further on. So these are the vocabulary. This is the vocabulary of the unit number 2, and the topic is the tumbler of oil. Tumbler, it means a beaker, a type of beaker. Worth, it means cost. Caution, to give instructions. And shook, move your head in negative way, just like this. This is called a shook. So next is saying words. Look at the story, text given to you. You have seen that the writer used This sort of words is said. The saying words are those verbs in which we use to say something, just like say, said, told, declared, exclaimed, yelled, request. These are the saying verbs. So students, look at the work that what is examples given to you on the board. We use the word said, that is saying verb in this sentence. The mother said him to get oil. We can also use the word like told, requested, cautioned. These are also the saying verbs we can replace said. Next is he said he was hungry. He said he was hungry. Said. Said is also the saying verb, and we can also replace this said with the words that told, warned, shouted, howled, exclaimed, sighed. These all are the saying verbs. On page number 23, you can see the few more examples of saying words and the meanings that where we can use these saying words. First one is declared, firmly and forcefully. When we have to say something firmly and forcefully, we are giving information. That we can also use the word declared at the place of said. Sighed. Sighed means softly, as we are sad, tired, or relieved. We can also use this word sighed. Then next is exclaim, if we are expressing our feelings. Then yell, if you are angry or you are speaking shouting. Then is teased, playfully, as we are making fun of someone. Then we can also use these type of saying verbs in our sentences at the place of said. And we can also use the word told, warned, shouted, howled, as. These are also the same verbs. So what you have to do is to look at page number 23. You have to fill in the blanks on the page number 23 with saying verbs given in the table above, that is on green table given to you on page number 23. So next we will discuss about the indirect speech. Coming to the indirect speech. What is indirect speech? Direct and indirect. The direct means if I am saying something to you, then it is direct. If my words are told to you by someone else, if someone else is telling you my words, then that is indirect speech. It reports what the speaker has said. Indirect speech, and it is not written in quotation marks. Look at these words. These are also the same words told and saying verbs told and said. Why we call them saying verbs? Because we can also use them in indirect speech. Look at the sentence. Mother told Tony not to daydream again. Tony said that the mother would be cross. Told, said, and the few saying verbs which I described you to before, that is yelled, shouted, asked, requested, exclaimed. These are all the saying verbs we can use at the place of told and said. So what you have to do is on page number 24, you have to solve the exercise given to you, that you imagine you are at the oil shop and report. You will tell the conversation between Tony and shopkeeper in the indirect. Else will tell the sayings of others, then it is called the indirect speech. So solve the exercise given to you on page number 24. You have to fill in the blanks using those saying verbs, or you have to complete the conversation heard by you between Tony and the shopkeeper. So on page number 25, we are going to discuss punctuation marks. What are punctuations? Why we use punctuations? Punctuations give meaning to the sentence and give meaning to the saying which let's discuss few punctuation marks. There are few punctuation marks, and you may also be familiar with them. That full stop, comma, question mark, semicolon, exclamation mark, colon, apostrophe, When you have to show something possessive and some words are missing, then we use apostrophe, round brackets, square brackets, quotation marks, ellipsis marks, hyphen, dash, slash, @, brace, asterisk. These are the few punctuations. You are also familiar with them when on the keyboard of the computer these punctuation marks are there, and we also use frequently in our sayings in our English sentences because they give meanings to the sentence. Punctuation marks, where we use these punctuation marks, let me brief you shortly. That full stop at the end of a sentence, comma, to separate items in a series. To introduce a list, we use colon. Semicolon is used to join two independent clauses. Question mark to show that it is a question. Exclamation mark after an exclamation if you have shown that some sort of wish, surprise, sad feelings, then we can use exclamation mark. Apostrophe to show when a letter or number has been left out. Quotation marks to show that someone else has said it. If we are writing about someone's wording, at the beginning and the end of the spoken words, we use quotation mark. Then, if the spoken words ends the sentence, we put a comma before them and a full stop at the end inside the quotation mark. Look at the examples of the few of these quotation marks, comma, she is clever and healthy woman. Why we use comma between these two sentences? Because the spoken words if the spoken words end a sentence, we put a comma before them and a full stop. And inside full stop at the end of the sentence, column when we want to list something, exclamation mark, you are expressing your feelings, question mark in question sentences. Question sentences usually starts with question words how, what, when, which, whom, and ends with question mark. @ usually in emails. Apostrophe, that is possessiveness sometimes, or if some word is missing. There are 2 8s in 808. Ellipsis marks. Today we start in your work, then when you want to give pause. So quotation marks. Coming to the quotation marks are discussed in your book on page number 25. Then where we use quotation marks? We use quotation marks at the beginning and end of the spoken word, and we begin spoken word with a capital letter, and if the spoken word form a sentence, a comma is used inside the quotation mark. If the spoken word forms a sentence, then we use comma inside the sentence, slash, underline, and square brackets. So this is all about the punctuation marks. Look at your exercise on page number 26. You have to, there are given in the boxes, few sentences are given in the boxes, and what you have to do is to mark, put the punctuations and have to solve the exercise. Let's have a quick review. What did you learn in this chapter? First of all, we will discuss about the saying. Saying verbs. Saying verbs replace the word said and tell us how words are spoken. We can also bring variety to our sentences by using some other words like told, requested, yelled, shouted at the place of said. So next is indirect speech, reports what the speaker has said. We often use said and told in indirect speech. Then is we use quotation marks at the beginning and at the end of the spoken words. Where we can use the quotation marks, we begin spoken words with a capital letter, and if the spoken words form a sentence, a comma is used inside the quotation marks, and if the spoken words end a sentence, we put a comma before them and a full stop at the end inside the quotation mark. So that is all about the review of the unit number 2, and let's come to the homework. What you have to do is to learn and solve unit number 2 from your textbook, and handouts are available at the website of Garrison School System and are provided to you through WhatsApp. And also along with this homework, you have to learn the composition work sent to you through WhatsApp on your homework. So that is all about the today's lecture. Hope you understood, and see you next week. Till then, take care. Stay home. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz.